Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We've never had so much help.
I know. And will the clerk please call the roll?
Here. Here.
Here.
Here. Trustee Rizzo is excused tonight. So I want to welcome the members of PAC 2 and the parents for tonight. We're going to do a recognition tonight, but I thought I'd just take a moment since we've got the Boy Scouts here to tell you a bit about what's going on here. So the people that you see up here are the people that the village residents elect to run the village. So each of us gets elected by being voted in. We serve for 4 years, and then if you want to, you can run again and serve for another 4 years. So I think Trustee Gifford's been around for how many years?
10.
10 years, 4 years, 2 years, and I'm the old man I'm in my 16th year in elected office here. So it's a great thing to do. It's a good service to the community, and it's almost like what you guys do as scouts, where you try to help the community and make it better, and just spend your time doing things to do good for your neighbors and the people who live around you. So we're proud of what you guys do, and we're proud of what we do here too. But tonight we're here to honor you guys, and we're going to do that with a thing called a proclamation. So a proclamation is something that we can do as the government to recognize people or organizations that do great things on our community. And tonight our proclamation is for Cub Scout PAC 2 for all the things you do for our community. So I'm going to stand over here for just a second, and then we'll get some people up and we'll do our proclamation. So who in the pack is going to actually receive the proclamation? Well, this is what we can do. You probably should have at least one adult. We can have all the scouts up here if you would like. I would give the proclamation to the adult, and the scouts can all be up here to receive it as well. There's 4 whereases and then the actual proclamation itself. If you're a parent here and you're here to see this, or an adult bystander and you'd like to take pictures, it doesn't take long. So we're going to be in this corner. You're completely free to adjust yourself, get where you can take your picture, get your camera angle, because once it's over, it's over. We don't do a redo. So don't worry about coming up and getting in the way. There's no getting in the way, because this whole event is for PAC 2 and the leaders and the parents. So if you want to bring your guys up here, we'll clear this off a little bit. So I think a lot of you may know Joe Rizzo, Trustee Joe Rizzo. He's been around for quite a while, and he's been involved with Scouts quite a bit, from what I understand. And on a couple occasions, he's told me that we need to recognize PAC 2 for what they do, particularly for the decoration of the village Christmas tree and the village display. Unfortunately, he had a family emergency, so he's not here tonight. I was hoping that he would actually be able to do the proclamation, because this is his thing. But so as mayor, I'm the one that gets to do it tonight. But before I read the proclamation, I just want to tell all of you guys that the things you do are great things. And as you get older and grow up, keep in mind the things that you're doing in Scouts, because they're going to be important to you for the rest of your life. If you can continue to do things that help your neighbors and help your community for the rest of your life, there's plenty of opportunities to do that as you get to be even an old man like me. And it's a super, super important thing to help other people out. So we appreciate that. So with that, I'm going to read our proclamation, and then we'll post some pictures. So this is a proclamation on the Cub Scout PAC 2. Whereas Cub Scout PAC 2 is recognized as one of the oldest Cub Scout packs in the Boy Scouts of America, and whereas PAC 2 exemplifies the motto service above self through its participation in local food drives and garbage cleanup days in the village of Scotia, And whereas PAC 2 most notably enhances the beautification and spirit of our village through its efforts during the holiday season, and whereas PAC 2 planted the original village Christmas tree in 1932 and has maintained and decorated the tree and surrounding area annually for the past 86 years, now therefore be resolved that the mayor and board of trustees hereby recognize Cub Scout PAC 2 as a benefactor to our community and hereby declare Wednesday, January 10th, 2018 to be PAC 2 Day in the Village of Scotia. So congratulations. If you guys want to come in here, we'll do a picture. Get all your, come on, right in front. Shorties in front, tall guys in back.
Jack, you're right here. Ian, Doris, right there.
Ian, wrong Ian.
Ian.
Ian, go back to your line. There you go.
Back to Ian. And Ian, Doris back.
And you guys can stand up. You don't have to sit down if you want to take a picture and come up close. You're all good.
Good. Okay, that's good.
I got mine. You got that one?
Okay. Good?
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks, guys. And with that completed, we're going to take a 5-minute recess so that anyone who does not wish to stay for the rest of the meeting can file their way out. If you would like to stay, you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting too. So thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Here's, we heard a privilege of the floor. Seeing none, I'll close that. And item 5 is a resolution for the village infiltration I&I sanitary sewer system seeker. And the resolution is to declare a negative declaration, declaring this project is not subject to the seeker.
So.
Any discussion on that? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item 6 is a resolution designating me as the authorized representative for the Clean Water State Revolving Fund Engineering Planning Grant. And that just means that I'm going to deliver the project agreement.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item 7 is to authorize the appropriation of local matching funds of 20%, which is about $6,000 for the Clean Water State Revolving Fund Engineering Planning Grant. I'll make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion on that one? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And item number 8 is a resolution designating a project area for the purpose of a New York State Affordable Housing Corporation grant application. So this would be the same program where we offer grants to homeowners in the Village of Scotia for needed repairs to the house. And it's a true grant. They don't pay it back. It's actually true money. So there's some requirements in that. But we've been very successful with that. We did an outreach. We have 56 people applying this time for this round of it. So. And when you say what's the project area, the project area is the entire village. Okay. So anybody,
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
any discussion on that one? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item number 9 is a resolution authorizing me to submit the Affordable Housing Corporation grant.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And in case you were asking, this will be written for us gratis by Shelter Plan. Yep. Item number 10 is a discussion of the 2018 initiatives. So I had hoped, I talked to Tom this morning, but he was already aware of it because he catches on quick. I'd asked you guys to come with any initiative you had for 2018. I just wanted to reiterate and make sure that I'm on the right path. Remember that as we had talked about how to move forward as a group, we identified 4 priorities that we were setting for this board, and I'm assuming they're going to be the same for 2018. They were revenues, generating revenues, facility, staffing, and business promotion. So okay. So we'll continue with that. We also had reviewed last time the initiatives and priorities for 2017, so I don't think it's necessary to do that again. But I did want to tell you the ones that personally, I would plan to roll over and then open it up to any trustees to add ones they want to add. So obviously, we're doing beginning forays on a municipal facility. I would roll over looking for grant money for a generator for Village Hall. I think that's essential for us. Also rolling over the court reconciliation and bail. That's something that I thought was taken care of and wasn't, but it's a few minutes, but I want it on the list so I don't forget. We're making some forays on a joint storage facility. I think I told you that we're losing the facility we have in Court Park right now, and we're looking at sharing one with the town of Glendale. I had started a project probably a year and a half ago or so on the required training that's necessary for all of our employees to reduce our liability and make sure that we met all standards. And so I want to start that back up again. Maria has already contacted our liability insurance company, and they have a lot of resources. So I'd like to get that as a package deal so all employees get the training they need annually, and we don't have any worries that we're not meeting what we're supposed to be doing. I'd also like to contact a second company that has linked with the company that we use for our grant writing to try to get a more aggressive approach to finding grant monies for us. Rather than us bringing them ideas, I'd like them to be doing a search for us and, kind of outline our needs on a maybe quarterly basis so that when things roll around, we're not right at the very last minute trying to meet a deadline or whatever. And I would like by this spring to have a formalized and complete park guard program in our parks where we have park guards full-time on the weekends and on the evenings as we do now. So that's what I have. Would anybody else like to add anything to that list for?
Just want to roll off, we talked about this morning. As far as business promotions, I approached the bid with a idea of like a best of Scotia awards for promotion we could do, and they were completely on board with it. In fact, they talked about rolling with it and making it even bigger than I thought originally. So I want to make that as one of our initiatives for the year to get that done. I think it's good to get people out and say, best of breakfast. Go out and try all the breakfast places and cast your vote at your favorite diner or your favorite pint of beer. You can go and try everyone and vote on your favorite one. So I think it's a good idea to get people down in the village and downtown here and get them going. So I think I talked with Kevin on it too. I brainstormed with him, so I think if you want to help me with that,
I'd love to be part of that.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
May I also talk about rollovers too, Mayor, because
Sure.
Joe, I believe, still wants to, and I haven't had a chance to talk to him about the fee schedule, and I'd like to continue working on that with him, to revisit that. And I want to revisit the concept I had about Visit the Village, and tie in the first-time home buyer program with First National Bank of Scotia, and do some type of open house. I know we discussed doing it probably on the garage sale day or something, and include all the services that we offer here in the village, and kind of get a little publicity around that, maybe advertise on Facebook and kind of get people to visit the village, see what we have to offer, and kind of showcase the homes that are for sale in the area.
Okay.
I think we need to roll over the design guidelines just because they're not done yet, obviously.
Yeah, that's another one.
They're, I think the planning board is almost
Yeah, actually,
come up with their,
I'll put it down, but I think we may be done with that quicker than we even need to put it on the list.
Okay.
I'll get to that later on.
Yeah, they were hoping we would do it tonight, but they didn't give it to us in time, so.
And you guys will have it tomorrow.
Cool.
Anything else? Okay. So what I'll do is I'll take what I paraphrased from you, send it out like I did last year. If I made any mistakes or any additions or whatever, I haven't heard from Joe, so we'll see if he's got anything, and then we'll go from there. Okay, item 11, my comments to the board. Just one more. You might have noticed that we have snow on the ground. So beginning tomorrow, we're going to start our snow sidewalk shoveling enforcement program. So our part-timer will be going around tomorrow. This time around is the first time, we're just doing a friendly reminder, hey, you gotta keep your sidewalk clean, village requires it, this and that. After that round of friendly reminders, we'll give it the period of time for compliance, and then hopefully this weekend with the rain and the warm weather, the people that have this compacted snow will have a chance to get things cleared out. And so from now on, that point forward, this winter, we'll go with the regular program of enforcement. So you probably remember we started it last year. It was a funny year last year because we'd get a snow, then it would all melt away, and the snow and it would melt away. If we get a typical northeast winter this year, going to be a little bit more difficult to enforce. So hopefully it'll be successful. As we just talked about, the planning board with Tom have completed a draft of the revised design guidelines. So I have it in PDF format. I'll be sending that to you guys tomorrow. Read it through, make any comments or questions, and then what I would like to do is have the chair of the planning board at our next work session, and we can go through any questions we have, and that way, if there's any details that have been unaddressed, we can get them in place so we can adopt those design guidelines. And as I say, I think they look pretty good. I just had a meeting today with 2 representatives from SCC and our village historian, and what they would like to do this spring is have an archaeology program at the Flint House. So the idea is they'll have actually 3 different events. One is for adults, and it's, I think, a 6-week class. The classroom time would be at SCC, and they would actually do a real dig behind the Flint House. The second one would be a summer program for kids. And then the third one would be a fall program for adults, but just a weekend program, two weekends, and that would be it.
I got a 10-foot square I got in mind, that came up if it's.
They're not doing
if it's
people's
before
gardens for
May.
them. I already told them to stay away from gardens, but they've done it in several places. They have a contract that Lydia's gonna be reviewing. I told them that they would go through the same park reservation application process that we use everywhere else, so they can reserve the spot for themselves. They'll pay the $25 application fee, as we always do, and if you remember, our policy is that we would forgive the fees for written in-kind agreement. The in-kind agreement with them would be that any findings would be the property of the village, and then a written report at the end of describing what they found and any significance again, would go to the village too. And then at the end of their program, they would do a public outreach and actually open the site to the public and do like a little talk about what they did and what they found and everything. So I think it'd be great. Maybe school kids could get involved. So I think it's a good thing. But I'll let you know the details of it when Lydia has read the contract, and then we'll do the authorizations and all that stuff. And then we had talked briefly about the proposed training center in the town, and the village at this point hasn't had any formal information on that. Tomorrow, me, Ken, and Pete are meeting with the police chief and supervisor in Glenville, and I should be able to report back to you guys at some point, maybe some more details about what that would entail and what the village's role would be in that. So, those are my comments. Item 12, correspondence, liaison, and special committee reports, trustee Mathis.
Our visionary committee with the town was, we had a meeting, we were supposed to have a meeting, but it got canceled, postponed. So I have nothing to report.
Trustee Gifford.
We had a regular fire department meeting, uneventful, and the planning board meeting on Monday was long with Cumberland Farms. They had a public hearing, and very briefly with the dairy circus, because they built it in the wrong place.
They built dairy circus in the wrong place?
They dug a hole in the wrong spot by about 10 feet. So it's not the end of the world. The owner of Dairy Circus isn't happy because he was looking for more apron in front, and he lost that apron in front. But the building's built.
I was gonna say.
So, well, what
Looked right to me.
what it then precipitates is, has to go back to the planning board, so that what the planning board approves is what's actually on the property. So the planning board had approved that site plan, but then the building was in a different spot, so they didn't jive, and they have to. So it was kind of perfunctory, but they had to come back and go to the planning board to get the reapproval for the building where it was. But it also requires another visit to the zoning board, because they had variance to put the building where it was, and the building's off, so they'll need, yeah. So,
Is it onto their, is it onto the other people's property?
no, it's further away from the property line than it was going to be,
Wow.
so.
During the last snowstorm, there was plenty of room for the trucks out front, so there were
Not
plenty
if I
of,
want to park there too.
well, there were plenty of plow trucks out front.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a.
You know how that is though, I mean, if that was your house and you
Oh,
wanted,
absolutely, yeah.
wanted your front yard to be a certain size and they put the house in the wrong
Oh, yeah.
spot, it would drive you crazy the rest of the time you own the house, so.
Yeah.
I have to hear it every time I go in there.
Yeah,
I have to look out the front window every time I go in there. Trustee Tiberio.
We had a bid meeting first thing this morning. The bid is looking to do more decorations on holiday time. They were talking about light up wreaths or light up trees or things like that to hang from the flagpoles.
The bows are getting a little tired.
Yeah, they sent a picture around this morning of like this cool LED light up tree that looked really cool and kind of eye catching, so I think they might try to do something like that. They were just starting to talk about it. They're also talking about doing away with the big, huge planters that block the corners and hang baskets this year. They're gonna start working on some promotions, possibly like a dinner and movie type promotion, or throwing Facebook ads out for events in the village. So, other than that, nothing else that was new there.
Thank you. Item number 13, departmental reports. Any questions or comments on the departmental reports?
Well, I was pretty impressed with the Christmas Carol, the tearjerker.
You do have an addendum from the fire chief. It's just kind of a synopsis of the rental inspection program.
Yeah, in case you thought they hadn't been doing anything.
And we've been massaging that. We actually just did, a little bit of a change in the way that we enforce the rental inspection. You always have the people that try to comply, and even if they don't comply, you bring it to their attention and they do, but there's always that one or two properties that you just have a very difficult time making them comply. So we've made some changes in the way we enforce our rental property laws to get compliance in those areas too. Item 14, audit of claims. Oh, can I get a motion to accept
I'll
that?
make a motion.
Except
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 14, audit of claims, I'll appoint myself to the Finance Committee, since Joe's not here.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Joe did look at them the other night.
Yeah, he did, yeah. I'll second it. Any discussion? And we'll call the roll on this one.
Trustee Mathis?
Yes.
Trustee Gifford?
Yes.
Trustee Tavierno?
Yes.
Mayor Casper?
Yep. Item 15, approval of the minutes of the December 15th regular meeting of the Board of Trustees.
I'll make a motion.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 16 is the approval of the minutes of the January 2nd, 28th special meeting. I'll make the motion on that one.
A second.
Any discussion on that one? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions?
Me.
And item 17, new business. Any trustee have any new business for us this
I
evening?
just have a question. Are we meeting next Monday?
Actually, I meant to bring that up under my, I don't have an agenda item for next Monday.
Okay.
I'd like to postpone that, and I've got some big things for our work session. I'd like to get,
Okay.
just
Okay.
skip and do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Any other new business? I just have two. One is, we got the agreement for the Stop DWI program from the county. Requires a signature from me. It's a, they reimburse us for time, equipment, basically anything to do the Stop DWI program, so it requires that written agreement. So anybody care to authorize me to sign the Stop DWI agreement with the county?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Discussion on that? All in favor, say aye. Aye, any opposed? And then the last thing I have is a little bit on our budget season coming up. So I got the tentative budget calendar for you. And basically, you know, we'll start, well, the departments will start in February. At the end of this month, they're gonna have to do their 6-month projections, how they think they'll end up the fiscal year. Toward the end of February, middle part of February, we'll put those into, this is KDS. It will no longer be KDS. When you see the budgets this year, we have a new budgeting software that's gonna fit our needs a lot better. The format will look a little bit different, but the training's being held sometime soon, so that the department heads all are able to input their budgets into the new program. So I'll have that from them. As you know, they bring their budgets to me as well ahead of time, and I go over it with them. But then we're proposing March 6th and 7th, which would be our normal work session Tuesday and the Wednesday after that for the presentations to the Board of Trustees. And then the 27th, I'll have or the 20th, you'll get the budget that Maria and I put together. A week later, we'll formally introduce it, and then there'll be any chance for discussion, any modifications if you want to make them or anything like that. If it's felt we need to have more meetings scheduled, we'll do it at that point. If everything goes well, then April 11th, which is our regular meeting in April, we'll hold a public hearing and possibly adopt it. So that's the tentative schedule. Written calendars. Anything else for the good of the order? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you.